Recording in progress.
Okay, hi, welcome. Here we are with our little Healy July 1st call. And I've had some questions. I'm John, and I've had some questions on the Advisor app. So I think I want to address that one first. And then we're going to kind of play popcorn, see what else anybody wants. And maybe Anae's got some good stuff for us. And some questions. So let me screen share here, share content. I'm going to share my screen, start the broadcast. Okay, there you are. We're sharing my screen. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So I don't know if you guys see a little spinning wheel, but how is this going to go? You're sharing your screen. Okay. I'm going to open up Healy Advisor. So you see, if you guys can see my screen, can somebody say yes or no so I can just see if I'm here broadcasting you guys?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, hon. So you can see I've got Pink Dot and Blue Dot, which are the apps that we have that drive our Healy. And then you've got this other app over here called Heal Advisor. So in Healy 1.0, which is going away because next month we're going to be in Healy 2.0, but in Healy 1.0, Heal Advisor was an application that you got on a subscription. So I've had this for a subscription for a number of months, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. And in Healy 2.0, what they're going to do is when people buy their new Healy in Healy 2.0, they're going to get Heal Advisor as part of their package. So that leaves a lot of people in Healy 1.0 with no Heal Advisor. And so Healy said, okay, so if you have not been subscribing and you don't have Healy Advisor and you want Healy Advisor, pay a 1 month subscription fee, and we will, I guess I gotta, you know what, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna add you as a co-host here. So you can, let's see if I can do this, so you can admit people, because I see if I admit somebody, how do I do this? So I got you there, asked to start video, make co-host. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna go back. Okay, so where I left off is, so with Heal Advisor, in Healy 2.0, you basically get Heal Advisor. So in Healy 1.0, so if there's a bunch of people out there, like a lot of us who are all grandfathered in, we don't have Heal Advisor. So the thing was, rent it or get a subscription for a month before the new Healy 2.0 starts. And then we'll grandfather you in and you'll have the Heal Advisor. You'll no longer pay a subscription and you'll have that for life. So what happened was a bunch of people all started ordering, and last weekend, because of all the people ordering Heal Advisor, it basically caused their website to considerably slow down to the point that they couldn't get in orders anymore. And they really wanted to get in the orders for people who wanted to buy Healy. So what they did is they said, you know what? We're going to put this off and we're going to give the people a chance to get Heal Advisor next month. And I believe it's all the way now to August 31st that you've got time to pay the 1 month subscription fee to get Heal Advisor. And then if for some reason, if you don't do it in that time period, it's going to be some other price point, which I can only imagine it's going to be higher. That's all I know. I don't know what the higher price point is or how they're going to handle that, but that's all I know. So that's the deal on Heal Advisor. So now let me show you what is Heal Advisor. So when I open up Heal Advisor, it is an app where you can go through here and you can ask questions of it. So of course, they always give you the notices, and I'm going to click OK. So in Heal Advisor, and if anybody wants me to type in, something in here, but I'll just type in, let's just say I wanted to go like, what programs would I run for my stomach? And when I type that in, there's MSJ to add in an A. Thanks. So here it is, would be program recommendations for your stomach. So there would be stomach, would be an individual, you know, and these are all pink dot apps to run. Release, first application, digest all, balance, pure, relax, extreme stress, immune, bacteria, gastrointestinal, nerve, mental balance, clean all, small intestine, large intestine, lymphatic system, circulation, kidney. So there's a lot of different programs that you could pick over there for your stomach and run. And then they have another. So does anybody have another one they'd like me to look up?
Put in there varicose veins.
Okay, let's see if they have varicose. Okay, there it is, varicose veins. Okay, so varicose veins, balance, pure, care, clean all, third application, lymphatic, liver, connective tissue, weight, hormonal balance, kidney, circulation. And what I've done before, because before people actually had this program, I would just take a screenshot of what it was. And I think Pamela's on here. She was the one that used to ask me that quite a bit. And I'd take a screenshot and I would send it to her to give her ideas for, you know, for either herself or for somebody she was talking to on there. So then let's see what you can do with this. So, okay, we've got eyes. So they've got, you know, all these different kind of things. So they said eyesight. Okay, here are the programs I could run for eyesight. So I can come down here at the bottom, and if I touch program, you can actually schedule these to be run for you. So I go 17 programs to be added to the program pool. So I could come through here when I run this, and I could go, oh, now if you see when I touch that, what it does is it automatically will kick off and begin to start up my pink dot app. So I could then run a, you know, program from it. I'm going to go back. I want to get back here. So why is this not going for me? IMF scheduler. I also give you a way to kind of, so you could report, you know, how are you feeling? And then you've got your training videos to run through here in this. So are there any kind of questions they have right now in the Heal Advisor app?
I'm assuming that the way they're listed is the best ones at the top to run first, and they get less important as they go down the list. Is that correct?
I've never heard that. I haven't heard that on that, Pamela. I haven't heard that at all. I just heard that those were all the programs that they selected on there.
Because some have to be better than others. I would think they would be in order. Does anybody know the answer to that?
I've never read that anywhere where they said there was an order.
They are suggestions. And as I have suggested last meeting and a couple of others, is that you choose what feels right for you, or douse it if you douse, and find out, say, 2 programs. My thinking is to do 2 programs that they suggest and do those on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Do them in a sequence so that you're constantly getting that energy and that vibration in there, and you do it in a consistent, repeated manner, and do it for 3 weeks, 3 days a week, and do it every other day so that you can have a different program on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and that you go through the list that they give you and just hum with whatever looks the best for you and write that down. Then run them. And always run coherence afterwards. I am constantly running coherence after I do a program, and what's happening with, I don't know, 18, 20 people that I have enrolled, as I've taught them how to do that, they're finding out that the programs began to sink in and become cohesive with my body, with your body. And that way the nervous system is hearing, open up, let this happen, and let's keep it. Let's do this. Let's have our organs and glands in a rhythm that is what we're choosing to heal. And I'm really for that one. And remember to wait a little bit in between the sessions so that you are letting the people, so that you're letting that session integrate into your nervous system, like 30 minutes for sure. In the work I do, I usually use 20 minutes on an integration that is all about reframing the brain and helping the brain listen to the body and send signals to the body through the vagus nerve. It's real important that we allow these things to really set in and work real well for us rather than bamming it, because that confuses the nervous system in my science.
That help you out, Pamela?
Yeah, so just at the end of the day, when you're done running programs, that's when you run the coherence.
Yeah, sure. You bet.
Okay,
And when I come in from outside world and I'm a little frailed, I mean, you know, frazzled and I've been through who knows what, like I just went, I just made a drive in heavy, heavy, heavy rain in the mud and in the water and rocks and everything going across the road. It was a little fry. So I came home and I ran the coherence. And it makes me settle down. It's wonderful.
Any other questions? No questions?
Okay, I'll have one for you. So with the plants outside, I ran, I'm trying to think what it was. I did took a picture of the plant, and then I think it was called Bach flowers, because it's a flowering plant. And would that be the correct one to use for plants, or is there other ones that you guys would suggest when you're trying to help a plant, whether it's in a cactus family or in a flowering family?
Bach flowers are a type of remedy made off of flowers that Dr. Bach in England built, and they're all emotional healers. So when we use the Bach flowers, I think of, because I am a practitioner of Bach flowers and have been for who knows how long. Anyway, those are remedies that can be mixed and you take under your tongue to settle different kinds of emotions. So my thinking would be not that for plants,
Okay.
but what you want to do for plants that I have done in past. In fact, I'm doing it with my daughter's whole area around her house because there's something really goofy going on in the soil. I am asking for all that soil to be as energetic, and I'm using the stimulus program with that as well to stimulate the soil, stimulate the growth of the plant, and anything that has to do with nutrition, vitamins, supplements of some sort that you want that plant to grow. All plants have a blossom and I like stimulating them to bloom. And I do write quite well with it because I've had plants in my office that people come in and say, that plant's not even supposed to bloom. Ha ha ha. So anything that feeds and nurtures. And also I would do, sometimes I do purification, the Pure and the Gold program, because you want it to lose whatever is blocking it from being a really healthy plant. And Pure does that. And balance between the soil, the sunlight, and just the plant growth itself.
Thanks for those tips.
You're
Mhm.
very welcome.
I've also on my plants, I've run the All Healy program, because I've kind of just like thought about not thinking about the names so much, but actually trusting the quantum sensor in Healy to go through there and analyze what's going on in that plant. And when it picks frequencies, 727, 538, 350,623, whatever, it goes, oh, that might be, it senses that plant needs that number of that frequency and that harmonic. Now, it might be under the program of mental balance. I don't know, right? But sometimes I get rid of the names there, and I'll just kind of trust that to pick it, to figure out how that plant is vibrating and what that plant might need. And I've seen my plants kind of bloom.
Can you give me a phone number for Steve Voss? He's got his phone book.
When you run, one of the things you can do also with doing all Healy programs is run it for only a few seconds or maybe even a minute. And the top 3 programs that show up when you do that analysis would be the 3 programs that you could choose to run on your plants.
Mhm.
And if you have the coil, put your Healy on the plant. Put it on the dirt, put it near the plant, put it next to because you can actually program the water that you water the plant with, as well as you can put the assistance of what is called implanting or imprinting your water with the healing essence that you want to take in from the vibrations, but you want to take it in internally as well. So do your water, do your food, make it healthier for you. I put my Healy under my plate.
Under your plate?
Under my plate, yeah. With the coil on it, put it under my plate.
And then would you have your hamburger on top of that?
I don't.
Oh, your plant. Oh, okay.
On the
I was thinking
plant.
food. I was thinking plant. I guess I'm hungry.
No, but I put it on my food too. I put it on my food. I just had a tuna steak and oh my God, it was good. I want it enhanced for the
Mhm.
nutrition of the body. So I will purify it in order to get it into my body, or I will use coherence with it because I want everything in my body to be working in this beautiful orchestration of me.
Mhm.
Because I want my liver to play the strings, my kidneys to play the oboe, and I want my poop chute to play the drums. And get it gone, man. You know, the impurities, I want them released. So the one thing you really, really want to know is you can do no harm. You really can't do any harm.
So would you say with the coherence, if you have something that's not really, let's say stagnant, would you just use that first before you would do the programs, or would you still do it afterwards like we talked a little bit earlier?
No, I tie them all together with it. Everything I do, I tie it together with a coherence because that's what it's doing. See, coherence is every organ and gland you have in your body of itself is a universe. It has its own rhythms. It has its own cells. Cells that are in formation in utero become liver cells. How do they get to be liver cells? Well, because they're smart enough in that development that they know they're in the liver and the heart and the kidneys and the lungs and everything that's operative inside of you, and your brain particularly has these different rhythms. And every one of those glands and organs have different vibrations or frequencies. They carry different frequencies. So I think of it as an orchestra because I was a musician once upon a time. And that if I have an orchestra that is playing Bach, for instance, and all of a sudden somebody comes in with a hard rock guitar like a really sick liver, that is inharmonic. And there is no coherence activity happening in that. So I'll go treat my liver, let's say, and that's the wrong word, excuse me. I will go send vibrations to the liver to help it heal. And all of a sudden it pops online and it starts healing, only because it's invited by the rest of the story to go, aha. Now, there is some smart person over here who plays guitar really well and they want to rock down on Bach. How fun is that? That's what happens with coherence. And when we do it in and of ourselves, each of us do that in and of ourselves, we are linking with everybody on this planet that have a Healy. And we are lifting the whole planet by doing that. And by George, right now, that's critical. That's critical. So I love the Healy for being able to be a part of a whole wide world, way bigger than my living room or my kitchen or my car for that matter, you know, way bigger than I am. And I can't even imagine the amount of things that can happen with this. I'd have to stretch my imagination. It's pretty good as it is, but I'd have to stretch it further because I know the effects. And in our country, in America particularly, we have gone through some havoc. The whole world has gone through the havoc of COVID and being locked down and all the kinds of chaos that's been happening right now. We need a prayer on turbo fuel, and that's what coherence is for the whole planet. Wow, whee-hee. Excites me. It allows me to do something about it. See, I can have a part of this wholeness coming back in and a holistic idea occurring on planet Earth. And gee, verse, we need it. But if you don't do anything every day, do coherence. You know, participate in that. Yippee.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Another question, or how about us? And while you're thinking of your questions, anybody have a success or story they want to share about Healy in the last week or two that you've discovered or helped in your situation, if you're willing to share? Your success stories help others who maybe haven't hit it yet or aren't aware or just like to hear, you know, what's going on.
I have a question.
Okay.
I work with horses quite a bit,
Uh-huh.
and I use the animal programs. Is there anything else that you would recommend with that?
Relax.
Excuse me?
Relax. Any of the programs that have relax. If you have any problems with your horses, or a protein animal is a protein animal, and we are all animal proteins. So these frequencies work on every animal on the planet. That's why they work with plants. The DNA in a plant is the same as your DNA, is the same as the horse. So get broad-minded, just start doing it. And again, if you have a coil, you can just put it on them, but they have apparatuses where you can put, they have in the ordering system, they have the animal straps, but get inventive, goodness gracious. And horses like it. Horses like any kind of vibration, and they will get it. I mean, if a horse can twiggle a fly off its back, by God, it can feel these vibrations. They do it way better than we do. They don't have any blocks in there saying, oh, I don't know if it'll work. They just absorb it. And that comes from an old horse gal. I've been working with horses for years, and I'm living in the home of the world's richest quarter horse racetrack and have been on the track breeding horses and blah, blah, blah. So I love messing with horses. I can put one to sleep. Not permanently, just have him take a nap while I work on him. Racetrack horses.
Does broadcasting work very well from like my office here?
Sure, you got the picture of your horse there. If you've got the blue app,
Yeah.
put the picture up, get the stats on the horse and broadcast it right away.
Okay, I'm just curious because I'm really not 100% sure on all this, so I'm just a rookie
Well,
yet.
I am, so go for it, man. Sure.
Well, thank you.
Joel,
Yeah,
if you also want to watch a video, if you type in on Google and you go Healy and horses,
Yep.
there are, and if you can't find it, then email me, but there's at least two, if not more, of very good, there's one out of Australia where they're talking with a horse whisperer, and they go through and they show some work with horses. And what was amazing, so I mean, obviously an A could go on this, but I hadn't seen it, but like you could watch the horse's ears move back and forward. You could see the behavior of the horse changing while they were running Healy on the horse. And they had him over there, and you could see the horse visibly relax, which was really kind of profound for me to watch. And this was like about a year ago. So this was pre-coil. And then they used those wraps that you have that you can wrap around a leg or an arm. And so they just wrapped the Healy, and they had put the Healy next to it at that time. And I think this was before like they had the animal kit for how to hook up, straps and devices. So you could also deliver microcurrents to the horses. So you've got, 3 ways to deliver frequencies to your horse now. You've got broadcasting, like you just asked Anae. So you can just broadcast the frequencies, and you can be anywhere on the planet and broadcast frequencies to your horse. And for anybody else that doesn't have a horse, that would be your cat, your dog, your gerbil, your chameleon, whatever. You could broadcast frequencies to it. Number 2, you can, now with the coil, you can, broadcast the frequencies, to it by putting it close to in proximity to the animal. And even if you didn't have the coil, the Healy itself has its little quantum sensor in there and will broadcast the frequencies at a less intense level than with the Tesla coil. And then if you get the animal subscription kit, they've developed special type of bracelets, if you will. I haven't seen them, for myself yet, but to hook up to your animals as a way to deliver the microcurrents to the animal with the frequencies.
You put an extension on the bracelets that we have right here. Just put Velcro and extend it around the horse's leg, the hoof, and that works just fine. You could actually make a great big old huge collar with Velcro and put it around the neck and have those 2 points on the skin, and there you go. And wet the fur. The other thing that I would suggest also, if you've got a real problem with a horse, is that you get some tail hair or mane hair, and put it in a little Ziploc baggie or something, and put your heat. When you start to pick up the frequencies that you're going to use through the Blue app, and you're holding your Healy, put that hair in the palm of your hand with the Healy on top, and then you have connected with that particular animal even more.
Yep, I get that. Thank you.
Does anybody here, I mean, do you guys have an understanding of why, when you want to run on Pink Dot, why you want to at least make sure that you're running the microcurrents, what that does for us? Would you like me to explain that a little bit? And then Renee, you can always kick in and add some more too. But the microcurrents coming out of Healy, and that's when we hook ourselves up to, you know, with either the wrist bracelets or with the adhesive pads. One of the key reasons why you want to do a microcurrent treatment with the frequencies. First of all, when you establish that connection, and how do you know you have a connection? It goes from black to white. So basically what that's saying is we've established polarity, if you will, in your body. So that knows that it's sending frequencies through you. So it's like, okay, we've got an electrical connection. Positive has met negative, negative has met positive. So we have an electrical connection. And on that pathway of the electrical connection, we're going to send the information of the frequencies, 523, 727, 605. It's sending that along to your body within there. So what it does at the microcurrents, what it also does for our cells is it charges our cellular energy. It increases our millivoltage to get to optimal millivoltage. We want to be at 70 millivolts. As we age or while we're in disease, our cellular voltage drops. So if your cellular voltage is weak, your cells aren't going to be operating at their full capacity. So the microcurrents help optimize our cellular energy, bringing them back up to a fuller state. And the understanding from the research that they've done is that when cells are at their optimal level, they produce better, they do better, they heal better, they divide better, they do what cells are supposed to do. So in addition, that's one of the things they state, that if we want to get optimal, benefit with our Healy, that we should be doing at a minimum 3 times a week. And the way Anae has been talking about it, that we would try and go a couple times, she likes to do 3s. So at a minimum 3, right, Anae? I got 3 in there.
A minimum 3. Well, the thing is that our body heals through repetition. Nobody can heal their body of anything in pure, deep exhaustion. You cannot do it. So you have to lift the body's energy up in order to even start healing. That's the beauty of this. Every cell in your body has a drumbeat. It has a membrane and it has a drumbeat to it. And it beats either healing and vitality and life force, or it beats dying and I'm sick and I'm dying and I need to get out of here. It does not do both of them at the same time. Does not do them both at the same time. So we have to get cells communicating at a higher level before they tip over and start dying, and turn up the volume on all of the cells that are happy and that are healing and are doing really well. And the whole gets the idea. That's back to coherence again, because it all starts playing within itself at its highest potential. That's the electrical current. That's the frequencies as they're playing to those cells. And it's all over us. It didn't just, but when you choose to use the pads or to the bands, when you choose to use the bands, you're going through meridian therapies. First of all, I wear my bands on the inside of my wrist. There are 17,000 nerve endings in the palm of your hand. Do you think you're touching the nervous system? Holy moly, right? So I like it that way, but that's my preference. And And I also put the pads, I have the pads, we've shown them to you, but you can use the ones that Healy has. Unfortunately, they don't last very long, so I like the square ones that I order from Amazon. Go into Amazon and order accessories for tins or tins accessories, because we are tins machine, and just make sure you've got the larger snaps on it. And anyway, I like, because that's what I do, is pressure point or acupuncture points. And I can go to those points and I have the plus and the minus, which in electromagnetic healing is then the North Pole and the South Pole, like magnets, and you're having them come together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other is not a healing process, because we go into resistance. So you want them to harmonize and come in and play together really nicely. So I use the plus and minus on the plus and minus points. There are lots of very simple charts online to take on meridian therapy or even chakra therapy. And go look at them and just start playing. You're going to get well doing it. It's awesome.
And you said that was accessories for what on Amazon?
A TENS machine. We are licensed TENS, TENS.
There's one brand name, Janice. You can see on my screen there.
Okay.
I've gotten
There's-
these and they look like this.
Okay. Can you show
And
the
there's-
front one more time? Okay, thanks.
There's the different shapes, like the front that he's got, there's a different shape. And
Another shape of one, yep.
yeah, they all work. And I even have some that have little tiny leads on them. I had them in my office way before I knew about Healy, because I used them on 2 other different pieces of equipment, that they have little small wires with the tip on it that will fit into your Healy. My favorite thing to do is to wear those 2 pads right here on my neck like this, with the little wires there, and stick my Healy on it and wear it. And that's always where I put coherence. Okay. Because you're getting kidney meridian, your thymus, your thyroid, you're getting the lungs, and you're getting your heart. And yeah. It's wonderful. I'm kind of fiery, so it calms me down.
I have a quick question about the Heal Advisors app. When you
Okay,
go in
thank you.
here,
I'm teasing Pamela, so it was a quick question. I was playing with you.
oh. Well, when you go in here to where you search, you know, where the search box is, there's
Yep.
2 boxes below that, and it says all IMF programs and then Healy IMF programs, and you can check the boxes. What's the difference between the 2 boxes, and which ones should you check?
Well, good question. If you also have a subscription like I also do, so I'm going to bring that up, so I'll show it to you. So then you can kind of see it. So let me come back in here. I'm going to screen share. I will screen share screen. Okay, start the broadcast. Give me just a second. It's going to broadcast here. Okay, I'm screen sharing. And I'm going to bring it back up. So if you can see on here, you can see my screen. Can you see it, Pamela?
Yep.
Okay, so you see down here, it says digital nutrition programs.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that subscription. You know that we now have that in our Blue Dot app, but I actually have this where I can run it as microcurrents, right? So I can go through there and I can go view all the programs. So here they are. These are your digital nutrition programs that are there. So when I go through and run this, I can also add these frequency groups as well on my Pink Dot app.
So in
So-
other words, if you have other apps, then you should click the box that says all IMF programs. And if you just have the ones that are on your Healy that aren't extra, you just do the Healy IMF ones.
Very good. Yep, that's it.
Okay, gotcha.
Because then some people have like the bioenergetic violation programs, which we
Okay.
now have on Blue Dot, but they have that. And then here are the animal programs. So you'd have the animal programs as well.
Okay. So if you don't have any of those extra things, you don't need to click the all IMF programs.
Yep, that's the difference. Yep, good question. Okay, next.
Marcia,
Yeah, Dorothy? Okay, I guess maybe Dorothy didn't have a question. Somebody else have a question? How about a success story?
I have a quick question. When you were talking about cells and,
Mhm.
renewal of cells and stuff. So is it good to run the cell program every once in a while? Just the cells? I mean, I'm a cancer survivor, so the cell thing is important to me. And I did run that one day on myself, just because, and I just felt like I had so much energy when I was running that I thought it was great because I know, what you're talking about and the breakdown of the cells and the repair. And I just think that's so important for everybody. Is that
I
just
would-
one to run no matter what?
Yes, for your body particularly. And I would also run in the fitness program, strength, stamina, energy of any kind. Because fitness is not necessarily, I want to run 2 miles down the road, it's for all of it, and muscle and tissue, and depending on where the cancer was, and I would run that particular organ, or that, whether it was the skin, whether it was wherever it might be, I would run the assist that's in bioenergetics, and that, in the 1 and 2 programs, or even Meridian 1 and 2. Just seek out in those programs what your body is about, okay? And run those programs and assist it, because at best, even though, I don't know, how long are you cancer-free?
So it's been for me 12 years, but it
One-
was breast cancer in 2 places and in my lymph nodes. So,
Well, I would definitely do female hormones,
okay.
okay? Because that hormone imbalance, even though you're white-headed, like I am,
Yeah.
except when I put purple in my hair, which is quite often, because white hair is boring to me. And I don't have a face really well when I don't have hair, when I don't have some color in my hair. But anyway, I would definitely use.
Come on.
Hello? Yeah, get after it, wherever that is. Anyway, I would do anything that pertained to lymphatics. I would make sure that my lymphatics were always clear, and I would do purification also. I love the Pure program and the Gold program, because first of all, it gets your body ready to receive the frequencies and in tune. It's kind of like using a tuning fork on where you're standing and humming. Every one of us speak in a different scale, a musical scale. For instance, I talk in the key of G. So when my conductor in school was in college would say, Campbell, sing a G, and I could always do it, because all I do is open my mouth and make the sound come out, But we're all different, and different countries also are of different frequencies. We are in this country a half a step lower than China. So Chinese foods don't work really well for us, as far as some of their healers. like soy should never be put in a white person's body, and particularly a white woman's body. And we don't, when the Oriental people began to come into our country, that was one of the big deals. Those hormones healed us, and they were really good for breast cancer, but we don't digest them. There's an intrinsic factor that does not allow us to digest soy. And most of the time, if it tries to break down, it's debris. And it hides in tissue that has been harmed in any way, whether it's surgical or whether you fell off a ladder or whatever you might have done. So your toxins hang in those areas. That's another reason to use those little pads and get purification down in there and get those things moving. And circulation. Circulation is very important for you. The lymphatic system only runs when you move. And sedentary people are very immune deficient. And right now we have got to pull the immune system up. And the lymph system has 7 times more blood, more than the blood does, fluid in our bodies. And it runs by pumping right here and in the groin. You got to get that moving, going, and then you're healthier. Even if you stand at the sink where I do sometimes and just go like this because I want it going.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And those are things that come up for me, so it's just it's a process of continually supporting our immune systems. And
Well, and your biggest thing is fear. We die from fear, not the disease. We died scared. When we say the statement, she scares me to death. Yeah, you're dying because of that fear, that's for sure. So that's the number one thing. So there's programs in there to help you dissolve all of that. And again, I'm going to go back to coherence. It lifts us and it constantly keeps us out of the muck. Love it. Thank you for that question.
thank you.
We had another question from Hun on tired. What do you do when you're for tired?
Pure, balance, relax. Sleep. The quality sleep that you might be having or not having, some people can think they're really sleeping and they're not sleeping really at all. They're thrashing around. And if you're not sleeping right, you're going to be tired all the time. The other thing I would do is adrenals, anything that connects with the adrenals, thyroid, brain, hormones, any of that, because America is an adrenal, we run on adrenaline, and we're adrenaline junkies with all the gaming and all the things that we do to get excited and keep excited all the time. Relax your butt, get down. Quit running like a wild turkey. And we're exhausted because we're in adrenal failure, most of us in America. Not fun. Call me. You might want a consultation. Not that I'm advertising, but I can.
Mm-hmm. Anything else? Any other questions? Otherwise, we're coming up on our hour. We could end a couple minutes early. Okay. Well, I'll just say this. I mean, in case you didn't know from a business side, because basically this part of the call, we basically just try and support everybody's usage. Healy extended their promotion until July 7th. The reason was they said many people were unable to get orders in. We have a very, very poor shopping system right now. It's going to be changed in Healy, let's just call ourselves Healy 1.0. In Healy 2.0, that's going to come on board in July. They're going to have distributed servers throughout the world so that we don't have everybody in the world going to one centralized server, clogging it up, trying to get their orders in. So that's going to be great. So for all of us who've sat there going, I'm trying to get my order in, I'm trying to get my order in, pulling our hair out, is it going in? Very cryptic, and all we can kind of say is these guys and gals that started this company had no idea how wildly successful this was going to be in just 2 years. They had no clue. They were, a wonderful little German technical company previously selling their time waivers, which were their big, big energy frequency machines. And they thought, hey, wouldn't it be great if we could shrink it down and sell Healy and have every individualized things? Oh, and then we'll try this concept of multi-level marketing, because that seems like that might be a good way to do it, because everybody is happy to talk about what's working for them. Well, it went 7 million year one, 100 million year two. And, I'm hearing rumors that we're, pushing 250 million. I mean, it's just going like wildfire, and they just didn't have the infrastructure. They had no clue how successful this was going to be. And so it created a lot of problems. Well, they're investing in it. They're making changes. So a lot of us have lived through some really kind of interesting times with them. And we can kind of see like, there's still some interesting times, but they're getting better. And so Healy 2.0, we're all going to learn really what it's going to be like in July. So a lot of us will have a lot of learning and catching up to do to see how the business model goes, how the back office goes, what it's like to order. But it should be good. So I think it's just going to get better. So we've got another week. If you've got any orders to get in for your people, I think it's probably best that they, again, still earlier, better to get them in earlier, because if it gets into that last day, because that'll probably be it, they just won't go. I've missed orders before going on the last day. I can just tell you that. And since this is a dramatic change, it's like you at least want to be 24 hours ahead of the clock on that one. I would actually say like, I'm thinking the 6th. And if somebody's in there and they dawdle until the 7th, you just tell them, hey, I'll try. I doubt it, but I'll try. We can try and see what happens. But, it's going to be better if we're doing this as a business in July. At least that's what we're told. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to be much easier, going to be more Amazon-like to put in an order and to work with stuff. So anyways, it should be very exciting to see what it's like, because we've got the best frequency machine out there that I'm aware of, and I'm very, very happy with it. So, just keep hearing good success stories, and even here on this call to hear what's going on with people even saying like, hey, like even like Marcia sharing, like I ran the cell program and I just felt better. It's just amazing how they put together these symphony of frequencies together with some intelligence of how do we tie together the right frequencies to go through to energize somebody's body to create a response. So, and like Anae says, I don't think you can do any harm. You can't do any harm. Yeah, maybe you can run too many frequencies where your body goes, hey, give me a break. Let me catch up with how you're trying to entrain me. Let me just soak it in. And then give me some, tomorrow. I think that's about the only thing you can do. And you'll feel it. It's like, well, I shouldn't have, tried to do that many push-ups or sit-ups or whatever.
It's very much like that, because you can, too much of a good thing is too much. And as long as we allow the body to catch up with it and get into its rhythm of what you're doing, and the more that you do, the more that you can do, because your body begins to sing the song that you want it to sing. And just think of it that way. And we've all, you fell in love with your favorite man just because they sang a song, and every time you hear the song, that's who you think about. and on and on. And so that's how it works, actually. It's in all vibration and it's in math. Because music is math, and music is the language of the spheres. And this is music that you can't hear, but the frequencies are there. And that's what's happening, is that harmony. Awesome.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap this up and see everybody next week, huh? Thanks for showing up. Thanks for bringing your questions. Definitely appreciate it. Thanks for your support, Anae. It's always nice to hear your wisdom shared here with the group.
Well, I appreciate being able to do that. Thank you.
Yep, appreciate that and appreciate all the good questions tonight because that helps everybody. Anybody who didn't ask a question benefited. So thank you very much. See you guys.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.